All right. Today is Friday, March 1st, 2019. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. So let's go right into our 114 status updates. We have code freeze next week. Starting with moving the alpha features to beta.
So I have there's one test I need to fix. I work on that this afternoon.
Okay.
So
I think
you have been reviewing it, right?
yeah, I reviewed the controller changes and they so far seem fine to me. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay, I don't have the link to your PR right now, but anyway, yeah, I was reviewing.
Oh,
It
all right.
looks, it looks, it looks fine to me. I don't think I had any outstanding issues, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a final look today, and then I will ping Tim to take a look at it.
Okay. But I do need to fix that one test though before. I don't know if he can take a look even before I got that fixed or.
Oh, okay. Which test is failing?
Right now I actually commented out. This is in CSI attacher test. There's one test. It basically uses this fake watcher to watch whether the attachment status is modified. If it's modified, then it should be saying okay, the attachment is complete. But somehow it's not triggered. I mean, I see that modified happen, but the watch, the mock, not the fake watch, didn't see that thing. Basically, it's not
Oh,
triggered for some reason. So there's something not right there. So I still need to look into that.
okay.
But I think you can look at other code, other parts already. So there are that's one test, and there was I think 3 small tests inside that thing. But testing this one thing is because of this. For some reason, after I made this change, it's not triggered.
Interesting.
Because I got rid of the other client set, right? The CSI related. So I'm just using the Kubernetes client set now. But then just right after I made that change, this one just doesn't get triggered anymore for some reason. So I was trying to figure out what could go wrong. So I will need to do more debugging this afternoon.
Okay, sure. No problem. I think that's okay. At least from what you see the actual update call getting called.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's okay. I think we can at least have Tim do a first pass review on it at least.
Yeah, I think that should be fine. Yeah, this one is pretty limited in just this one place. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. All right. Next up is inline volumes.
Hey, I am going through the implementation PR right now. Thanks for the review. I'm looking at Jan's and your review on that PR, trying to get it in as soon as possible. Should be done fairly soon.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I didn't have any like really major issues with
Mhm.
PR. So I think once you can address the comments, then just let me know and I can also ping Tim to take a look at it.
Yes, and the other PR, which is the API PR, is just sitting there. So I don't know if I should combine them or keep them separate, but the API PR is basically ready.
Okay.
Somebody take a look at it.
I think
Um,
I mean if the implementation PR is in good shape, I think it makes sense to combine it. Just have it as a different commit. Then we can
Right,
review
right. That's exactly what I've been doing, just
yeah,
rebasing
then we
it.
can review everything together.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, thanks.
All right, next up is resizing. Hamant, do you want to give an update?
Yeah, so sorry. I've been working on the controller change, the kubelet change, and I have like I'd refactored some of the code because the problem was like the CSI volume. I mean, CSI volume could right now the file system resizing on not dependent on volume type to implement like device mounted interface, which may not be necessary for like if the CSI volume plugin only supports node publish and doesn't support node stage on stage. So that refactoring I'm doing, and then I think almost there. It just I'll open it today. The blocker obviously is getting the CSI 1.1 release cut actually, so that we could use it. Otherwise, I'm right now referring master branch in
Okay.
Kubernetes.
At least so Kubernetes itself doesn't need to pull in a newer CSI spec, is that right?
No, it does, because
It does.
otherwise, how are we going to call node expand volume for something like GC or?
Oh, I see. This is okay on the file system side. Okay. Um, did you Saad had some suggestions on how to we need to send out an email? Is that
Yeah, I
right?
did send. Mhm. I sent out
Okay.
on 26th of February or 26th. Yeah, I sent out an email to container storage spec
Okay.
email.
So then on Monday, if there's no objections, then we can cut the CSI spec.
Yeah, that's what I asked for. So like one at least the RC, and then we can go ahead and cut the the final thing on like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday,
Okay.
whichever day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then
so I
that
sent
should hopefully line up.
yeah, I sent out an email on February 26th. So I don't know, but
Okay. Great. I think that's okay. You can continue working on off of the master spec for now, and then before code freeze, we should have a cut that we can change.
okay.
All right. Thanks for the update. Next up is migration.
All right. So for migration, let's see, the provisioning changes are in for the entry as well as for the lib external provider,
All right.
external
Awesome.
storage. And the final piece that I'm working on is for the CSI external provisioner. So that should be in next week.
All right. Excellent.
Other than that, the main thing that I'm in progress is the reconstruction work that David started looking at, as well as he's working on some API structures to support migration of inline volumes.
Okay, awesome. And those two are the parts that need to go into Kubernetes core, is that right? Everything else is out of tree?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, awesome. All right, thanks for the update. Next up is Rob Locke.
So yeah, I finished reviewing this code and it looks good. I'm in the process of testing it. I hope to have that done by the end of today. I know that the docs PR has to be in today, and the repo for that is Kubernetes website, right?
That's right. Yeah, it just has to,
Yeah,
the
so
docs PR has to be opened.
yeah. So I dug up the old one, and it was sort of a weird blending of the raw block to beta and CSI raw block to beta. So that one has been closed, and I'll open a new one that's a work in progress one for just CSI raw block to beta.
Okay, that sounds good. And keep in mind that the Kubernetes.io docs are the user-facing docs. So this is as a Kubernetes user, how do I use this feature? for a lot of the CSI features that we work on, a lot of the documentation is more about, um, uh, I guess, like driver, vendor, developer facing docs.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have another action item to update the CSI docs for Kubernetes, the developer facing docs. But that doesn't have a deadline of this week or next week, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to open up this PR just for the Kubernetes user facing docs, and there probably won't be much.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. Sounds
and
good.
finish the testing.
All right. Thanks. I think I've seen, I saw that Masaki has 1 or 2 PRs out to add some more E2E tests. And I think
Okay.
I think I saw Matt Wong is reviewing them. So hopefully that'll
Awesome.
help
Yeah,
us
I
get
can add
more.
those to my review list.
Yeah, let me add it here. Let's see if I can quickly find it. Locke. No. I think he's adding it he's adding one of them specifically for one of the bugs that you opened about the iSCSI stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, we have some iSCSI, but those aren't CSI specific. Those are just iSCSI bugs.
Yeah, I think he was well he was looking at okay, well maybe something more generic tests, but that could maybe also trigger the iSCSI issue.
Oh, right. There are more tests we can add that would be interesting in both the non-CSI and CSI cases. So, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will end up helping us in both ways.
Yeah. All right. I
Yeah,
just added his
we're
PR
gonna have to
there.
fix those iSCSI bugs as well, and make sure the fixes end up in the iSCSI CSI driver.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
Not a small amount of work.
Yeah. All right. I think at least for like code freeze time frame, I think we should just focus on getting some tests in. Then we can work on fixing the driver issues that we find after that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Cool. Thanks for the update. We will skip over this. I got an update offline from Jan. He says he's making progress. Patrick's also not here, so I'm gonna skip that. Next up is consistent sidecars. I think.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
So
this
I'm
is
still
actually
thinking through the leader election stuff.
okay. I think this is done using all the common connect libraries. I think yeah, the external provisioner one just went in, so I'm gonna move this whole thing over to done. And then we have the using the RPC package. So I think the only thing left remaining for this was the external snapshotter. So I saw you just pushed a new update, so I can go ahead and take a look at that again. I think, do we need
Yeah,
to
sounds
go
good.
back
Thanks.
and update some of these to use the newer CSI libutils version where the RPC package is actually pulled out?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think node driver maybe, and
Okay.
maybe external provisioner. I can do that today.
Okay, cool. I think it might have been external attacher that went in on 0.3, maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. All right. And then you're starting to look into the leader election stuff.
Yep.
All right.
Should have the PR open for actually adding support in the library sometime next week.
All right, great. Thanks, Andrew. All right. Lastly, here we have the work to do to set up the common drivers. John, do you have an update on the iSCSI driver?
Yeah, I got pulled off on some plugin stuff this week, so I didn't get it finished. But I will have that early next week, I think.
All right, no problem. Yeah, this isn't super urgent. So
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
yeah.
I think I want to ping Ben on this too later today if he's around. Get his-
I'm right here.
Cool.
All right. Um all right. Oops. I closed too much. So that's all I have for the tracked tasks. I guess so docs are due today, or we should open up PRs. Does everything have documentation? Let me go down this list again. So moving the alpha features to beta, Jan and I have all covered the docs for that. And Vlad, you already had one for inline volumes.
Yes, I refreshed it yesterday.
All right, awesome. Is there something for resizing?
Oh yeah, I opened a docs placeholder. Yeah, PR.
All right, excellent. Migration, I don't think that's going to require user-facing documentation. Because theoretically, users shouldn't even notice. All right.
But
Rob, oh, sorry.
users are going to have to deploy some plugins, right, for that migration to go smoothly.
I think at least for so I think there's a difference between users and providers. I think providers will have to deploy them. So at least I don't think we'll need like Kubernetes.io documentation, but we should probably send out like emails or at least, release notes saying that this is coming and that providers should start thinking about this.
They have to at least enable the feature gate, right?
Yeah.
So the feature gate itself might need documentation, like very little, but
Okay. That's a good point. Maybe, Deep, do you want to coordinate this with David and figure out if we need to open any docs updates
Sure.
for the website?
Got it. And we typically do this even if this thing is an alpha, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
There's at least one page that documents like all the feature gates in Kubernetes.
Okay, so we should add it there.
Yeah, we can add it there. I guess the question is do we also want to add any additional documents somewhere for like cluster administrators? That I'm not so sure about.
Okay, we'll
But,
figure it out.
yeah, awesome. Okay, and raw block, we discussed this already. These are all external changes and don't need documentation. And yep, all of these are sidecar stuff. So I think we're good to go, at least on our Kubernetes facing features. All right. That's all I have here. Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up?
hey, Deep, very quickly. So the David, I don't know. So the volume limit for migrated volumes, we might have to. We will not be handling them correctly, I think, in this release, or unless like, yeah. So I think we will not be handling them correctly because the scheduler is see something else, and or
I think that's fine. So in the initial alpha release, there's going to be a number of features that are not going to be migrated. I think volume limits is one. Raw block is another. I'm not sure what else might
I
be
think
missing.
yeah, resizing also.
Oh yeah, and resizing. So I think that's fine. But before we go to beta, we should definitely have this.
Yes. Agreed.
Cool.
Oh, I had a question for the leader election stuff. There was a question in the issue around how we're going to manage versions between the Kubernetes client and the sidecars, or the Kubernetes client in CSI libutils. So should I just vendor the latest stable version and then we can figure out how we want to do version management later, or do we want a good story for that now before we go and add that dependency everywhere?
I think the main thing is that all the sidecars already might have Kubernetes version dependencies, because the sidecars are interacting with Kubernetes objects, API objects.
Right.
So if the CSI libutils also has a Kubernetes dependency, then when those sidecars imports this library, then it's possible there can be conflicts depending on the versions that the sidecars need and the version that the library is on.
Yeah.
I think what that means is we will have to maybe, if we have to update the Kubernetes versions for any of the sidecars, then we probably have to update it across all the sidecars and CSI libutils. I think that's
Okay.
how I see it. It's kind of similar to the CSI spec dependency issue too.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So I'll do that for now. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Oh, Andrew, so you also have another question about this data election thing, the backward compatibility thing. Do we need to worry about basically for the provisioner and the attacher, they are using different method? So
yeah, I think it should be fine. So I need to dig into it a little bit more, but I think you can just switch the lease type from endpoints to lease, and it should be backwards compatible because you're just creating a new resource. So I think worst case is you would have a stale endpoints resource for external attacher, but I think that's fine.
Okay.
I guess the main worry is, would you, if say you're doing a rolling upgrade, would it be possible because the newer version is using a different way to do leader election? Could you have two masters?
That's a good point. Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks.
All right, great. All right, anything else? All right then, everyone have a great weekend and we'll see you on Monday.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.